Welcome. This is episode number 15 of Latino Vegano, where we love to talk about veganism from a Latin perspective. I'm your host, Roger, and I have been vegan since 2002. And for today, I have such a great and special guest. Her name is Sabrina. As you can tell, I'm a New York Knicks fan. She's also a New York Knicks fan. She's originally from New York, and she's been vegan for over a decade now. And she's half Dominican, half Puerto Rican. So we're gonna be going to the Caribbean now with this interview. So today she's gonna be speaking about how she transitioned to veganism, how she handles the rejections and the trolls and all those kind of things. So it's a great interview. Stick, listen to it, enjoy it. Don't forget to like it and don't forget to subscribe. All right, now I leave you with Sabrina. Bye.
latinoyvegano.com.
How you been?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm loving this quarantine life.
How come?
Because this is what I'm used to. I'm an introvert anyway, so it's like, I don't know. And I like that, like, my man can finally be home and not feel guilty about it because he doesn't know how to rest. So I'm like, yo, sit down. And now he's like, he has to sit down, and it's great. I love it.
That's cool though. I'm glad you're having a good time and enjoying that and staying safe, by the way. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
No?
Hey,
What
so
about you?
me, well, yeah, I mean, good. Like, it give me opportunity to be more creative. So now I'm podcasting and learning a little bit of what development. So I've been taking advantage of the time to kind of just like expand my skill set, right?
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I kind of started this project, especially because I feel like there was like a gap in the Latin community. So I wanted to take advantage of, being Latino too, and kind of help bridge that gap and spread some knowledge also. And because I heard a lot of questions, muchas dudas, there's a lot of like, hey, what is this? Like they still asking like, what's the difference between vegetariano and vegan? Like I thought we're like 2020 and they still like, you know what I mean? So instead of me criticizing, I'm trying to do something about it, right? So that's my mindset towards this. So
Yeah.
that's why I started this.
I feel like they always get vegetarian and vegan confused with pescatarian because I still get asked, so you eat fish, right? I'm like, but my response is always, what tree does a fish grow on? Because
Right, and
I'm
that's
gonna
it.
avoid that tree.
Yeah, and they don't have an answer for that, right? And that's it.
Right. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
if it has a mother, good.
Yeah. And but they also say, can you eat this? And they always say that, like, can you eat this? I'm like, what do you mean?
Right.
I can eat whatever I want to, but I choose not to.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing that I find a lot. Like, it's just a way of communicating. Sometimes doesn't match our ideas.
Right.
So tell me, tell the folks out there a little bit about you. I think you're half Dominican, half Puerto Rican. Is that correct?
Puerto Rican, Dominican, and sprinkled Haitian.
Haitian. Oh, so you todo el Caribe. Estás por todo el
Yeah.
Caribe.
Right. That's all me. Over there, that's all me. And I always get asked, like, oh, what do you, like, between the Puerto Rican and Dominican, it's always like, oh, what do you rep more? What do you,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the same thing.
Right.
It's just different islands.
Down in the same water, right?
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean, what do I rep more? Like, oh, you put more Puerto Rican or more Dominican? I'm like, I'm both. I don't know. Because my parents, like, they grew up together.
Okay.
So my mom's Puerto Rican and my dad's Dominican. He's the Dominican side. And so they grew up together. So there was really no mom side or dad side. Like the family parties were both of them together. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to my dad's side family party or like my mom's side. Like it was a joint situation. So I was never more immersed in like the Puerto Rican culture or Dominican culture. It was always both. And then, like I feel like most ethnic kids, like they get sent to the country when they're teenagers.
Right.
And I got sent to Puerto Rico when I was 14.
Okay.
And I got sent to the Dominican Republic when I was 17. So it's like I was fully in, you know what I mean? So there's really no difference for me at all. Except for the fact, like, the way they talk, of course.
Right. They have their own different slangs, right?
Yeah.
Like I went to Puerto Rico a few years ago, and I was surprised because everybody keep calling me Papi, and I was like, hey, "You're not my son. What are you talking about?"
Oh, it's
So,
all
so that was new because like I'm Panamanian, and we only call Papi like there's two ways that you call Papi, right? Like your actual father, and
right.
then if like from a, like a girl standpoint, like a girl calls you Papi,
Right.
like, yeah, you know what I mean, like a sweet little thing there going on. Otherwise, you don't use that term. So I was kind of
Right.
surprised when I was hearing that in the street and you just calling a random, hey, Papi, you need anything?
Right. It's such a common term of endearment over there.
Oh, it is?
It's like, yeah, it's just kind of like a sign of respect. Like in New York, people will call each other boss. Like, you good, boss? And it's kind of like the same thing. It's like a respect.
Okay.
And it's also very comfortable with, I feel like Puerto Rican men are very comfortable with their sexuality.
Well, you can see it by the all the reggaeton artists. You know, they got that.
Yes, like Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
You can see it. Yeah, and their eyebrows and like, they comfortable. They good.
They're comfortable with that. I think Bad Bunny came out dressed as a girl in one of their latest videos and stuff like that. Like they don't really care. They're pretty comfortable, and you can see it by the lyrics too, right?
Right. And there's a video that just surfaced of Bad Bunny and his girlfriend dancing, and he was backing it up on her. I was like, okay. Hey, I'm not mad at men who are that comfortable within themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's dope. That you're not scared of what other people think, and I'm like, oh, that's super cool.
Awesome. And so have you been back to the island since?
And last time I went, what was last time? I was in my 20s. Oh. I think it was 20. How old am I now? 27. So that was. Oh my God, I'm gonna be 35 in August. So it's been a while. I'm due to go back to Puerto Rico and DR. I went the same year.
Oh, okay.
To both.
Yeah, because I mean they're pretty close by, so.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, why not? And that's when I was in New York, so it was cheaper to get there. True.
Yeah, it's a big community of both, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know if it's bigger than Orlando, because I know in Florida there's a lot of Puerto Ricans, but I think New York will be probably the second or even the first. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of y'all over there.
Right. Yeah, I feel like New York is pretty heavy, and then you have Washington Heights, which is all Dominican. It's just straight up DR without the tropicalness.
Yeah.
And they try to fake it a lot. Like a lot of places try to give you that tropical vibe. And it's like, bro, I see outside. I know where I'm at. This is 185th. You can't not. It's mad funny.
So you grew up in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I used to live in New York before I moved to Texas, and my family actually still live out there in Long Island.
Oh, what part?
Rockville Center.
Oh, I like it over there.
Yeah. It's not too bad.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah. That's why. And so tell me, when you went to the islands, it was difficult to find vegan food? Did you find it difficult?
Oh, so last time I went, I was vegan.
Okay.
I wasn't when I was a teenager. And yeah, I actually found, well, in DR, we were staying at a all-inclusive like resort.
Yeah.
And I let them know, like, hey, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, and they were really accommodating to that. I mean, for the most part, I ate a lot of fruit.
Okay.
So, and then one day they made mangú without butter, and I was like, thank you.
Okay.
It was good. And then of course, like rice and beans, I was living off of that. But for the most part, I was eating like fruit and drinking piña colada. Well, right. You know, I can't speak too much on DR's food, but they were accommodating enough to make me stuff.
Okay.
And then in Puerto Rico, there's vegan restaurants. We were going to a whole bunch of vegan restaurants, and it was good. Oh, it was so good.
So tell me a little bit about like when did you transition into when you became vegan? So people know a little bit of that story.
I get asked that a lot, and I need to really sit down and like go through my timeline because I stopped eating meat when I was 20.
Okay.
And that's when I went vegetarian, and then I kind of just naturally went vegan over time. I know by like 2010, 2011, I was like, all right, I guess I'm vegan now. Cause like, it wasn't like one day I was just like, I'm gonna be vegan from this day forward. It was kind of like I was cutting things out gradually without even thinking about it. Cause I was already disgusted by milk.
Okay.
The idea of milk was so ugh. And then eggs, I was just like, all right, I'm good on eggs. And then even with cheese, I was just kind of like, all right, I don't really need cheese on everything.
Right.
And then the only thing that was holding me back was ice cream, because I really like ice cream. And then I discovered vegan ice cream, and I'm like, what am I doing? Vegan ice cream is amazing. And it kind of just, one day I woke up and I was like, y'all, I've been vegan for the past, like, I don't even know how long. Right. I guess I'm vegan now. And yeah, and here I am. So I think it's been like almost 10 years or 9 or I don't know. But like as far as fully vegan, even in like the clothing, I kind of stopped buying leather stuff even as a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, it was just so natural for me. Like I was meant to be vegan. And it's so second nature for me. I don't even think about it. I'm not like, it's not, the only thing that's a constant thought is what am I going to eat? But that would have been the same whether I'm vegan or not. I'm just always thinking about food because I love food so much.
That's dope. It's funny because like does it feel the same way? Because I've been vegan for like 18 years, right? So people are like, oh, do you miss this? You miss that? Like, I mean, bro, like I've been vegan for so long. Well, what am I gonna miss now? Like I wake up being vegan. Like I don't even like if my system is not switching. Like, oh, let me switch back to eat meat now. You know what I mean? Like we don't think about that way. We just do it because it's natural to ourselves. So I don't really miss anything. And I always tell folks like, you tell me one piece of food or meal that you cannot find equivalent to a vegan meal. Like this.
Right.
Pretty much we have everything out there. So why did it just to miss? So,
you know what I do miss?
What do you miss?
I miss back when I used to eat and not be harassed about what I'm eating. I miss not being annoyed by people.
What are you eating?
And people all of a sudden become a nutritionist.
Right?
And I'm like,
everybody's an expert, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna keep eating this though. Like the other day, somebody commented on one of my my pictures. I think one of my food pictures, and they were like, "Things are gonna die anyways, so we might as well eat what we want while we're here." And I literally commented back like, "Do you feel better now that you got that off your chest? You
right.
good? You feel good? All right, cool. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing." Like I never give them what they want. They want the back and forth, but I'm just like, I hope you feel better. I hope that's you good.
yeah, that's true. Hey, so when you switch over, you were one of those vegans that was like militant. You used to go like, you gotta go vegan. You gotta go. What was your past back then? Like how you used to handle those situations? Were you more mellow or you used to be militant about it?
I wasn't one of those people preaching until somebody came for me. Like, don't come for me if I didn't send for you.
Yeah.
Don't try to tell me what I'm doing is wrong. Don't try to tell me about me when I'm living it and you're not. You know what I mean? And what's funny is like when people would say, oh, you're not gonna last, you're gonna get sick. And when when people tell me, especially now, you need meat to live. And I was like, it's been 15 years. And I'm here. I think I'm here. Like, am I dead? Like, you know what I mean? It's so funny. Like, are you talking to a ghost right now? Because I'm pretty sure I'm living without meat. So I was never one of those people who, if it wasn't properly brought up, I'm not going to just tell you like you need to go vegan.
Right.
But when people ask me about like health or how did I accomplish this, that, and the third? Because I used to have asthma. I was like more overweight and all this other stuff. And my asthma, I haven't had asthma attack since I was 20.
Yeah.
I think since I was 19, I think. And it used to be pretty bad. Like my respiratory problems were pretty trash. And it's crazy how it was all linked to what they inject into the animals. And now I'm like, I'm good now. And people always ask like, oh, how did you? And I'm like, I just cut out meat. And once you tell people you cut out meat to accomplish something, they're like, nah, there's gotta be another way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me that secret peel or secret formula, right?
Yeah, it's like, no. Or when people are like when they hear my age, they're like, oh, you don't look. What's your secret? What's your skin regimen? Da, da, da. I'm like, water and veganism. I don't know what else to tell you. That's it. And they're like, nah, there's got to be another way. Why are you asking me? It's but yeah, I've never been super militant. I'm only annoying to people who want to be annoyed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when they want to be annoyed about the fact that I'm posting my food when all I'm doing is posting my food like any other person would post their food.
Right.
I'm excited about food. I have a intimate relationship with food. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to post about it. I'm going to talk about it. And I get excited. And it just so happens that my food is vegan. And I do get excited to show people that we're not just eating tofu and salad.
And kale, right?
Yeah, like I'm super excited to just let people know, like, hey, I'm eating. Like anything you can eat, I can eat vegan.
Right.
And yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah, that's true. And how was your, do you have any issue with your parents when you decided to go vegan? Because I know a lot of people suffer that, including myself. That was a big, especially like, in the Latin community. No comes carne, right away, like this big old, you're going to die basically, right? So how was that for you?
Well, it started when I went vegetarian. My mom, she was very supportive.
Okay.
Because she thought it was going to be a phase. She's like, oh, you're going to go vegetarian? I went vegetarian for a month before when I was your age. Like, yeah, okay. And so I remember she tried to make me tofu, and she didn't press it, and she didn't get firm. I don't know. It turned into mush. Like it turned into a liquid. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know what happened. We both never tried to cook tofu before. So it was cool. She was accommodating. My grandmother was like, you need to eat meat. I'm like, all right, grandma. And I would never I would never come from that's my grandmother. I'm not like, all right, grandma, okay. Yeah, I need to eat meat. And I would, I would still leave it off my plate. My dad and my uncle, my mom's brother, because my dad and my uncle, they're really close. They've been in bands together. So they're like a little team. Yeah. They were like, my uncle was like, I think Sabrina's worshiping the devil. And my dad's like, I think she is worshiping the devil. She stopped eating meat. And because I stopped eating meat, I'm all of a sudden now I'm worshiping the devil. And I'm like, don't you have to sacrifice an animal? Like I had to sit down, like, y'all do know that you got to sacrifice an animal, I think. Like, no offense to anybody who's worshiping the devil out there. I don't want that community to come for me. But I'm pretty sure we have to sacrifice. I'm doing the opposite. Like, if anything, I'm trying to create as least harm as possible.
Right.
And then finally they just came around to like, all right, maybe she's not. And I remember I've had conversations with my family about, like, on my mom's side, everybody suffers from cancer in some form. And I've told, like, family members, like, hey, like, if you continue to eat this way, you are going to get cancer from it.
Right.
And one person actually ended up getting cancer from it and then reached out to me like, yo, I'm so sorry for shaming you, and I'm so sorry for everything I said. And I'm more curious now to explore that lifestyle. I'm not going to ever go fully, but now I'm more willing. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to help you. I try to help you before. It sucks that you had to get sick to hear me. But and then my dad, I'll go to his house unexpected, and he'll have like vegan meats and stuff like that in his fridge, and I'm like, and for the most part, like he tries to stay away from red meat now and chicken, and he's come a long way for a stubborn Dominican man. He's come a long way, and he's way more understanding. So
yeah, I think you're doing better than I am, because my stubborn family, they won't leave me for nothing. I mean, and at the beginning, I used to be preachy, kind of like, yeah. It's funny because I hadn't really had the knowledge. I didn't really have the knowledge back then to talk about veganism, but it was just streaming out of passion, like, oh, well, like I'm awoke, like I saw the light. Why you are not seeing the same thing I'm seeing? So I used to be like, hey man, you guys gotta go vegan, like this is the way to go. And they were like, dude, you're crazy, get out of here, like we're never gonna do that, so on and so forth. So you get to a point that I feel like, okay, this is not working. I need to find another strategy. What is the only way that I can show, okay, let me just walk by example. I am doing that and still not making changes. I don't know what else. And I think it's gonna happen with kind of like what you said. Somebody's gonna get sick, and then be like, oh, the doctor said that I need to do this. How can you help me?
Yeah.
So why do you have to wait to something to happen to make those changes in your life? Just have work those things. Yeah.
That so sucks. I hate the fact that it takes it, but stubbornness.
It is. Like, it is.
It's just hard-headedness, and it takes a lot to unlearn something that you're like so used to, as like you grew up on it. So it's like it's hard to think that everything you knew to be true is not.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like when it came to my family, as far as like being more interested, I had to cook.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't preach because it was like you have to know how to approach certain people when they're super stubborn, and you tell them something and they're the type of person to do something out of spite, even if it's not like vicious, but if they're like, oh, you're telling me I shouldn't eat meat, so I'm gonna double the steak today, and it's like, all right, you know what? Let me approach it differently. You have to approach people. You have to approach different people differently, because what works for one person is not going to work for the other. And what worked for me isn't going to work for everybody. So I knew with like my mom, every time I would come over, like she lives in Florida, so whenever I'd go visit her, I'd shop and I would cook. And now so much of the stuff that I would buy, she now continues to buy. Like vegan mayo is always in the house. She only uses vegan cheese. Like she's not anywhere near even vegetarian, but she is way more open to all of it. She's made like little adjustments, all because I sneakily put her on, not sneakily, she knew what she was eating, but it was more like, oh, you know what, try this. And if you make it look good and you make it look or resemble close to what they're used to, then they're more inclined. Like you can't whip out like kale chips and be like, yo, it's just like tortilla chips. I'm like, bro, it's not. I'm looking at it. It's definitely not. You can't just come out with a plate of tofu that looks like tofu and be like, I'm telling you, man, this tastes like chicken. Like, you have to be honest, and you have to present things that they're used to, even if it's not like, steak or whatever. You have to present it in a way that they're like familiar with it and it's intriguing to them, and then be a little more open. And I feel like that's the best approach.
Yeah, that's a pretty good advice. I think you're right on point, because I mean, that preaching might not get you anywhere. So by cooking and presenting food and having say, hey, this option, this alternative is as tasty, as good as whatever it is that you're eating. Plus, whatever you're eating is using plant components or plant spices or whatever to give it that flavor. So what if you integrate this plant-based or this vegan food, and you use the same spices that you're accustomed to eat, and then have it. Plus, it's gonna be healthy for you. So I think that approach sometimes works better, especially on the Latino community, because they so stuck in their roots and cultures and the way and traditions. So that food is like big. Like it's like I was saying the other day, like when you go to like a Latino house, they give you food, and that food is like a welcoming, like you're welcome to my home. So here's food, right?
That's how I am. Like
right.
I know.
Right.
That's like literally like that's how I express love.
Right.
I express love through cooking.
Right.
That's
right.
us. That's what we do.
Hey, Sabrina, so how do you think we can create more awareness to I mean, it could be the Latin community, but in general, how can we create more awareness as far as like veganism and health and the overall?
Just representation, familiarity. That word was hard to say just now. Just like presenting things that people recognize in a different package, a slightly different package. I think people are just scared of new stuff and things they're familiar with. So if you can present it in a familiar form, even though it's something completely different, if you can present it in a way that isn't scary and also easy. A lot of people are all about just easing it. Like what's a good example? Just even the way people make their food, like rice and beans and stuff like that. Like if you could just make them see like, hey, what you're making is already vegan, and the meat portion of our plates usually isn't even the highlight.
True.
Like, I mean, it is a highlight, but it's just a side. You know what I mean? Everything else you can veganize, because like Dominicans, right? Dominican egg salad or potato salad, you could just swap out the vegan mayo. Vegan mayo is way better. And that's just one ingredient in a potato salad that is not vegan.
Right.
The egg salad, that's a whole.
That's a whole different thing, yeah.
That's a whole different thing. But potato salad, it's just vegan mayo. That's easy to get. It's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like vegan butter. And just the little changes and showing people the slight, not preaching to people, but showing them in a way, because a lot of people need to be approached, and it's unfortunate that they need to be approached, not unfortunate, but they need to be approached like softly. Like you can't be aggressive. You can't be, and also a lot of people don't like the truth of where it comes from. So that approach also doesn't work. Like a lot of people don't want to pay for it. I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, show me more.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want nothing to do with this.
That's right. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, and I mean, I completely agree on you on that one. I feel like familiarity health makes a big role. Like if I can veganize a lot of my costume Panamanian dishes, for example, they'll be like, oh wait, I mean, oh okay, I can eat this. And it's funny because I always tell this joke that you ask a Panamanian what's the typical, and you can relate to this because Dominican and Puerto Rican, the culture is so close, like so similar, right? Yeah. From music to food, whatnot, everything, right? So, so you ask a Panamanian like, what's the typical food? They'll tell you like rice, beans. So nosotros le decimos arroz, poroto y carne. We call porotos son frijoles, right? So arroz, poroto y carne. So and they put 2 tomatoes and they call that salad. And I'll tell you guys, and then, like you said, mayo, right? So I said, well, if you think about it, the entire plate, first of all, I can tell you that that's not a well-balanced plate, but that's a different conversation, right?
No, we're not talking about health vegan.
Right. We're not talking about health.
The border and then taking it the rest of the way. Well, we're not going to talk about health. I mean,
right. Not talking about health. So that meal right there, you take away the chicken because that's the most basic staple protein source back home for me. If you take that away, you pretty much have a vegan plate because rice is vegan, beans is vegan, and then salad, of course. So I mean, what else do you need? It's just kind of like what you said. Meat's probably not the biggest highlight of the whole meal, but that's a typical meal. So I said, well, imagine if I just supplement or change that chicken protein with a vegan version of it. You have a vegan meal. I mean,
Right.
tofu, key garden, whatever that is, just to get you started, because that's a different thing, right? I mean, we can talk about the different levels of veganism as far as once you get in, you probably start eating junk food, and then you get started getting more conscious to it, depending on what level you are, whatever that case is, or what element of veganism you got into. Like for me, it was animal rights, and then for others could be health rights, or whatever the reason is, right? So you, depending on the level you are, then you start being more conscious about what you're eating and what you put on your plate, and you start to love your life, right? So I think, but starter plate. So because that's usually what I do. If I have someone that has not much knowledge of what vegan is, I don't show them a kale salad right away, even though I would love to, but I don't give them a kale salad. So I try to give them food that they're familiar with, so they can say like, oh, okay, this is something that you also eat too. I say, yeah, absolutely. This is the way we eat. This is part of our food. It's not rocket science. It's not very difficult.
I will say I don't preach as much as I preach veganism for health when it comes to my family, but for myself, I don't ever claim to be a healthy vegan. I am a junk food vegan. I do like I try to balance. Well, for the most part, I'm balanced because I know I have to. But snap, if it was up to me, I'd be junk food 24/7. But I know I have to. But I intermittent fast as well, and that helps a lot with just not overdoing it and not feeling sluggish and gross and whatever. But I always tell people I am not a healthy. When people are like, "Oh, you're vegan, you must be so healthy," I'm like, "No, I'm compassionate."
That's different.
I don't know about all that. So I always want to put that out there because a lot of people will come for me like, "Oh, that's not healthy." I'm like, but I don't want to kill anything to eat. That's my main purpose. My main goal is to try to just minimize the amount of hurt, because no matter what, you can't. We know that you can't be 100% perfect when it comes to veganism. Right. I don't want an actual piece of dead flesh in front of me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I know that things do get harmed when it comes to like vegetables because the spray and the bugs and all that. No, but like I already know people would come for that. Like, oh, well, you're still killing. I'm like, I get it, but I'm not trying to. I'm purposely trying to eat from the earth. You know what I mean? As much as I can. But that also comes in the form of cookies and cakes for me and ice cream.
Hippies, and ice cream.
Yeah, like I'm more about that. Like if I can eat all the things that I love without harming anything, or as I do it, I'm there for it. And I happen to love junk food. That's my thing. And because even the other day, somebody was like, I would love to go vegan, but I love junk food too much. I'm like, girl, me too. Me too. Like, what? I'm like, don't ever give me a salad unless there's so much in the salad that it's no longer just a salad. It's like, what is this? You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I always like to put that out there. I'm a junk food vegan. Don't come for me. Don't come to me if you want super healthy advice. No, but if you want how to make I made a tres leches cake the other day.
Oh, you did?
I ain't never made it in my life. Even before veganism, never made it in my life. I made it the other day. It was so good. Yeah. Oh my God. Me and my boyfriend were in the kitchen, standing, not even sitting, from the pan. Talking like, man, this
is good. Yeah.
We're full of comments, but next thing we know, it's empty. The whole pan is empty. We're like, and we're like, oh, we fasting tomorrow.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, same way. Like I went vegan luckily for the animals, so it wasn't. So I started it when I was like 23. So I wasn't even thinking about health back then. So even though in my story I tell that the way I was presented to veganism was through the health benefit, And I was like, man, like, well, I'm gonna have to be thinking about health at this point in my life. So my curiosity brought me on to find all this lottery and all that thing that's happening. And that's when I'm like, wow, I don't want to be part of it. And that's when it clicked to me. So I was like, yeah, I literally called turkey, no pun intended, and went vegan. And that, and that's when I started in my journey. But then I started getting sick because I wasn't eating. So I was like, oh, that's not vegan. I ain't gonna eat it. So that detoxing process and me getting sick, and then we're talking about pre-internet days. So there was not a lot of information. So it was a hard. The struggle was real, sister. It was a struggle back then.
Right.
So long story short, the good thing is that I stuck to it. I went through the ups and downs, and I started getting more knowledge, and everything went from there. But for me, then from that point on, it was like I knew that my reason for going vegan was this, and there's nothing else. So I'm not going to change back. I'm not going to go back to do something else. Like I'm not going to go back. There's no other option. This is it. I just have to figure it out. So that process took a while, but once you figured it out, it's like it's easier. And now it's just accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then same way, I'm not necessarily the healthiest vegan. I can't tell you all the health benefit. I gotta learn a little bit about nutrition now through fitness and doing workout and bodybuilding and all that kind of stuff. But that's never been my main thing, right? I've never been big into like, okay, this is the amount of protein and calories that you need, and now I'm getting a hold of it a little bit more. However, I'm big into eating. I mean, go out of restaurants and try new food and cook some stuff at home and desserts and stuff like that. Which I know there, of course, I mean, you can have a cleaner diet, if you want to call it that way. But like I say, again, my main reason of going vegan was not because of the diet purposes. So I always use that as my main reason. I heard in one of your podcasts that you don't like plantain. How come? Tell me about it.
Wait. I don't like plantain. No, I don't like. I love tostones. I love tostones. I will fight people for tostones and
but not the yellow
one. I'm here for it. Yellow plantains. I don't like maduro.
Why not? ¿Por qué no do the
I don't like it.
Wow.
That's it.
Dang.
I like tostones with a little bit of salt, ajo. Oh my God. The ketchup and mayo. Oh
yeah.
God. But maduro, I force myself to eat it.
No way. Okay.
And if I do maduro, it has to be like overcooked, if anything. It has to have, like, how it has crispier edges sometimes, and it's mushy. I like the crispy edges, but I won't eat the mushy middle.
Oh,
I don't like it. I don't like the sweetness. I don't like the consistency, like the texture. Right. But bonus.
Yeah.
Those are my best. I just tweeted the other day, like, I wish I could find green plantains out here, like closer to me. I wish I didn't have to travel to find them.
Okay.
But in the grocery store that I usually go to, it's only yellow, and I'm like, bro, if y'all don't respect. I don't put some respect on these plantains. Like, give me some green joints right now. Yeah, I love Plantains. Is like, that's my life. You know what I mean? I grew up with it, but Maduro was never it for me. Yeah. Okay. And my dad always made the best tostones ever.
Really?
Oh, with some lime in it. Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, Sabrina, tell us a little bit about how you became a straight edge, because this is an interesting topic to me. Yeah, because I am one too, and I was one without even knowing that was a trendy thing. Like, that was just like, I just don't do this, right? And maybe you could explain for the folks that have no idea what that is, and then we can segue into like how does that happen to you?
Okay. So straight edge is I don't smoke, drink, do any sort of drugs. I don't do any of that. I have no vice in that form. And the way I came about it was I as a teenager, I got really into punk music and hardcore and stuff like that. And to a lot of people, it's just noise. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, and I would get that a lot, like, oh, like that's just noise. But the punk and hardcore scene is what taught me about veganism, taught me about being straight edge, taught me about being my own individual, taught me that I don't have to please everyone else around me in order to be valid. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it preaches individuality, and it preaches like there's this song literally called Straight Edge, and it's literally saying like, I don't have to be like you. Well, that's not like the lyrics, but it's pretty much telling people like, hey, you don't have to go down the same route as everyone else just because they're telling you like that's it. And yeah, that, I mean, I really music is what brought straight edge to my attention. And then there's bands like Morrissey that preach veganism as well, but I'm not vegan because of them. But yeah, it's really because of, and also like I tried drinking when I was 21.
How do you go?
I was like, this is what y'all like? This is it? I remember the first time I was like, maybe I didn't do it right, because that sucked. And then I tried it again. I was like, no, this sucks. I'm not drinking the right thing. And then I tried fruity drinks. And I'm like, no, this is worse. And I was just like, you know what? Drinking's not for me. Like, I'm not meant to put alcohol into this body. That's just not it. No, this isn't for me.
Wow.
Ever since, straight edge.
Yeah.
Ever since, I'm just straight edge.
Yeah.
And what, you know, was the most annoying question? I'm sure you get it. How do you have fun? I'm like,
I get the same question. See, like, you can't have fun without alcohol, right? So you need alcohol to have fun. So the problem is you, not me.
That's crazy. I'm like,
I'm always lit. Yeah.
I was like, you must be boring if you need it.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, that's sad. When you have to turn to alcohol in order to have a good time, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And also that's like, I feel like that's a brainwash mentality.
It is.
That's it's more of a brainwash mentality.
Did that ever cause you issues, like maybe like dating or meeting guys and stuff like that? Because for me, that was a big deal for girls. Like, you don't drink? Like, then you don't drink, you don't eat meat? Like, I'm an alien, basically. Like, what do you do, basically? So for me, that was a big issue. I don't know about you. How was your experience?
In my single days, a few years ago, I vouched to never date a meat eater. So for the past few years before my relationship, I meat eaters weren't even an option anymore. Sorry, meat eaters. I know I get a lot of hate when I say that, but hey, man, it worked out. I found a lot of dope like vegan dudes and even vegetarian dudes. But when it came to dating before that, it would always be because they're so used to oh my god, the heavens. That was amazing. See, this is why you gotta go for somebody who eats like you, because they'll bring you back treats when they go outside. They're so used to going to their same 5 spots for a date, and it's you know what I mean? And so when it comes to me, they'd be like, wait, I can't take you to the bar. I can't take you to the steakhouse that I usually take people to like impress them. I'm like, yeah, you got to get creative with me. And if people who were willing to take the challenge, I was like, all right, I'm gonna pay attention to you. Also for me back then, a dope date was going for a walk and talk. This is in New York though, like just going for a walk and just talking and people watching and like, and if you can't just appreciate that and just being present, and it has to be like the fact that you feel like you have to get a woman drunk in order for it to be like a good time.
Right.
It's weird. And I would always do that. I would get men who would think like, oh, we're not gonna have fun if we're not drinking or smoking, or I'm like, bro, what? That's weird. That's creepy in a sense, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was definitely a struggle for them, because it was never a struggle for me.
Right.
Because I'm like, hey man, you can't figure it out. I could figure it out. You want me to plan it? And I did plan a lot of stuff. I planned a lot of dates back in the day. Like I was the one who was like, you know what? I'm gonna put you on to this place. There's this place called Red Bamboo in New York that's been around for a long time. And I would always be like, let's just go to Red Bamboo. And the atmosphere is like datey. It's like low light, and it was good. Food was always good. But yeah, and then after that, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with meat eaters.
I hear you. Yeah, it's always been a challenge for me in the sense of like dating because, like you said, they alcohol for a lot of men and women, alcohol is like it's like a start. It's like a party. Like if I don't have alcohol, I don't feel good. I not feel like I'm having fun. And to me, it's like I can have fun so many ways. Like you can even go dancing, and you don't have to drink. You can dance, and you can have fun. You're not a dancer for dancer. You can go to a place like you said, go for a walk. Or you can go so many places. I like to go hang out, go to restaurants, and then just chit chat. You have a great conversation. We have a nice meal, then eat dessert, and we out the way. So that seems like if I would take a girl out, they'll be shocked because like, man, they've never done this with me before because they always used to like, let's go to a bar and get drunk, right? Because there's a underline for that, right? It's like, okay, if I get a drunk, I might get lucky tonight, something like that. So
if I'm not comfortable enough with you to be open sober,
right?
I have to. If I can only be open with you drunk, that's an issue.
Yeah.
That's not okay. And if you're just looking for like to hit it, just say it. Just say it.
Yeah, be open about it. Yeah.
And there might be women that are like, oh,
okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it was I never so I never was big into alcohol anyway. So and it's strange because it wasn't something that I saw on my parents. Like my parents wasn't like big drinkers, so it wasn't like I know a lot of my friends like their parents drink, so they kind of replicate some of that. That wasn't my case. I didn't see my parents drinking, but it doesn't mean that my dad might have a beer or my dad might have wine. So I don't know, but I was never big into it. I didn't like the taste, and I knew back then and now still that didn't do anything good to my body. And then I mean I see people puking and getting drunk. It's like what's fun about this? Like I don't see the fun of it. So and then one friend one time told me like, well, you never learned how to drink. You gotta find the drinks that you like and stick to it. Like really do? Like so I have to go to the entire bar and drink all the entire liquors to find the one I like. I ain't got time for all that. Give me the vegan food and I'll do that.
Right. Yeah, I've done that so many times. Oh, you haven't found the right drink or you haven't found the right whatever. I'm like, bro, I'm good. Yeah. And also what's funny is that my parents, they were drinkers, and my mom, she always had a bar. Like my whole life growing up, we always had a legit bar in the house. And I was never tempted. I was never like, hey, I'm gonna sneak into the bar. And I didn't, even in high school, when people were drinking, and I was just like, I never went to parties. I was such a like, I guess a black sheep. I never cared what other people were doing, and I never caved in to peer pressure, and I just never like. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you can. Of course, you can. Yeah.
Oh, I never gave a fuck what everybody else was doing.
Right.
And so when people would try to tell me like, oh, you need to do this or you need to try this or I was just like, why? Like that, it's not gonna. Why? Because that's gonna make you happy that I'm doing something, putting something in my body that my body clearly doesn't want. And the fact that we wake up hungover is like, it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's stupid. And even with my family, like during New Year's, my mom would give me like champagne and be like, go ahead, it's fine. You can drink it, it's fine. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like even when I had permission to, I was just not interested because I would see the way they would act. Like at family parties, I would see like, my family getting drunk, and I'm like, ooh. And also my father being a musician, I would go to some of his gigs and I would see some of one time, one of his bandmates got so drunk.
You couldn't play.
so drunk. He started, actually, I don't know, I'm going to say it anyways. He started making out with someone who ended up not being what he thought they were.
What?
Like, let's just say, and this isn't shaming or anything, but they ended up not being the gender that he thought they were. So when he got sober, everybody's like, man, did you have fun? Like, he's like, yeah, man. And I was like, oh. We all saw, we're all like, does he know what's happening right now? Nah, he doesn't, he's drunk. I'm like, why is nobody stopping him? It was funny, but I don't want to be the butt of jokes. Like, oh man, you got wild last night. Like, really, what did you do? And I don't like the idea of not remembering what I did.
Right.
That's scary. No, especially as a woman. As a woman, I don't want to forget what I did. And I always try to tell my friends, like, look, I don't drink. I will never, ever, 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 ever in my life drink. So if you ever see me drunk, somebody slip me something. And I always try to make sure that people know that, because I don't want anybody to ever see me appear drunk and think like, oh wow, she decided to drink. No, like somebody definitely, did something, and I always try to put that out there. Like, this is going out to the world. If y'all ever see me drunk, watch me, because I don't drink. I drink water whenever I go anywhere. So like, if I have any drink in my hand, it's pineapple juice with granadine. Oh, so good. But yeah, I always put that out there because it's important for people to know that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, because I haven't met that many straight edge, but the ones that I met, they all feel the same way. And they always have a passion for it, and they feel the same way about not drinking and smoking and doing drugs. So that's a cool thing. That's the decision that we made. We can vouch for other folks. O sea, eso es nosotros lo que nosotros hacemos, pero lo que ustedes hacen allá es que cada quien, ¿no? Pero si tienen, if you have any questions like that, you can ask Sabrina, or you can ask me about it, and we can talk about it. Tell us a little bit about your book. Hangry Vegan is called?
Hangry Vegan.
Hangry Vegan.
So it was a cookbook that I kind of wrote it because people were so eager for me to put out a cookbook.
Okay.
And I'm not really one to like measure. My whole family, we never really measured stuff cooking. So to write a cookbook was like, it was a challenge because I had to go back and cook and measure things. And I'm like, okay. So I wrote it really quick. It's 22 recipes. There's no pictures in it because, again, I put it out so quickly just so I can give people what they've been asking for.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of foods that I grew up with. There's moro. There's like recipes to make adobo from scratch.
Really?
And sofrito and all that. So it's like, it's a lot of stuff that I love. And the reason it's called Hangry Vegan is because once I'm hungry,
you're angry.
I'm the sweetest person. I'm super cool. I'm like so nice, like approachable, like come to me for anything. I'm good. But when I'm hungry, it's not that I'm like outwardly angry. It's more like I'm just annoyed. I'm just like, what? Oh, it's not you. And I always try to tell people it's not you. I just haven't eaten yet. But yeah, so Hangry Vegan is what I become if I don't eat.
Awesome. So where can they find them?
At sabrinasith.com on my website.
Your website.
Yes.
Sabrina, and then do you have that book in Spanish by any chance?
No, I wish I did. I could probably translate it. I should translate it. I mean, I should translate it. There's words in there like habichuela, arroz. You know what I mean? But that's it. And
you said the majority of the recipes are recipes that you from when you grow up. I mean, they're from your childhood. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. There's a few. I called my mom for a few of them. Like, hey, how'd you make this, that, and the third, and yeah, it's in there.
Okay. And what other projects did you have going on?
I actually am working on doing a vegan dating show. Yep. For YouTube. Nice. It's gonna be via Zoom, so people who want to apply, you just send me your info. Hold on, I always forget the email address because short-term memory. But so vegan social shows at Gmail. Just send for anybody who's interested, send your name, your pronouns, because I like to be respectful, your orientation, and your dating history. And so the setup that I have in mind is kind of like a Love is Blind situation where one person is going to be shown on camera, and then everybody else is going to have their camera off, and we're just going to ask questions. Like I'm going to be the host and ask questions, and then the main person will eliminate people based on their answer. And before they're eliminated, then they turn on the camera and you get to say bye face to face. And it'll be like a fun situation. It is LGBTQ plus inclusive. So anybody, literally anyone can apply to be on the show. And I'm going to do, the first episode is going to be all vegans, but then eventually I'll do like others. But but I first want to do vegans because vegans complain all the time about not finding each other.
I know, like, I can't find a partner, she's all over the world, vice versa.
Where's my vegan soulmate? I'm like, so it's kind of my way of giving back to the vegan community.
Awesome.
And also, I think it'd be really fun to watch because there's nothing like that for us.
Yeah.
It's good to see. So that's one of the things I'm working on.
Okay, that's great. It looks to see how they made the connection just by listening to the answers and not by a physical connection first.
Oh, it's so exciting. Yeah. And then when you finally see them, like, what's your reaction? Are you gonna be like, oh my God, they were so hot, or whatever? It's gonna be funny.
Yeah, I'll definitely be on touch of the show when the show comes out. I want to definitely watch it.
Yes.
So my last question for you: do the Knicks ever gonna win a championship? Oh, next question.
Oh my God, you drink that so fast. Yeah, so veganism, everybody should test out the waters. Just test out the waters. Don't talk about my Knicks. We be trying with a little engine that could.
Gracias por escuchar Latino y Vegano, un show donde se habla todo lo relacionado sobre el veganismo entre la comunidad latina. No olviden suscribirse a este podcast, seguirnos en Instagram, Facebook, YouTube y a visitarnos en latinoyvegano.com.